Give me that. It's good to be buddies.
All right. We are live here. This is Wolfgang Krosky, CEO of the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce. And we have here with us today a special guest, Mr. Fernando Sandoval, a long-term, lifelong Pittsburgh resident. He'll talk a little bit about his story, but he is running for Contra Costa Community College District Ward 5. And this is part of our candidate interview that we are doing for all of the candidates. We have added a couple more races, but we've done Pittsburgh City Council, County Supervisor, District 5, Pittsburgh Unified School District, and now we are going to be doing Ward 5 of the Community College District system. So with that, Fernando, can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Hi, my name is Fernando Sandoval. I was raised here in Pittsburgh, so I really know what Pittsburgh was about in the early days. Originally, I was born and lived in a labor camp on the Sacramento River until I was 5. Had a great time growing up in Pittsburgh, living downtown. When I was 17, I joined the military service. My friends went to college, and I went to Vietnam. You know, that was my first taste of what it's like to serve, publicly serve. I tested high, and they put me on this advanced program and started working with technology. So I was a guy that I was on the USS Enterprise, helped with the embassy in Saigon, rescuing all the rest of the staff that was there, and the South Vietnamese. That was like my big action there. And as I did the technology, I left the service after 6.5 years. I joined when I was 17. I needed my mom to sign for me because, frankly, that was one of the pathways out of poverty for me. After I left the service, I worked at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, not that far away in Livermore, so I was able to gain a lot more experience, learn from the best in the country. And then after 5 years, I kind of got antsy because I wanted to know what it was like outside of Pittsburgh. You know, and the only other place I was outside of Pittsburgh was on the ocean. 70% of my time was on the ocean on that enterprise. So I left, went to the East Coast, and I worked all over the United States. I worked with General Electric, Sperry Rand. I worked at IBM. I worked in many different companies as an engineer, as a technologist. I morphed into finance, where I worked in banking for HSBC Bank. I worked in Canada, Mexico, the United States, and eventually started doing international finance consulting, doing policy development, budgeting, forecasting, you know, all the great stuff, you know, with a company based out of Belgium. So I got to work in Switzerland, England, Hong Kong, which was really a long ways away from the city of Pittsburgh. When I came back, I continued all the work I was doing before I left. And when I was young, I was kind of alongside Cesar Chavez, all the stuff that was going on in the 70s that dates me. People remember the anti-war protests, the whole environmental stuff with climate, getting the right to vote. You know, there's a lot of things that was going on. The environment, all that stuff was going on when we were young, right? And then, of course, all the different things that happened to a lot of people when they read about Bobby Kennedy, when they read about Martin Luther King, when they read about Watergate. That wasn't history for me. That was kind of what my life was about, understanding that. So coming back, I was involved in Rotary. Involved with the Community College District on some advocacy boards, involved with the Taxpayers Association, just a lot of different things in the community. And this is my second time running for this position. I'm excited about it.
So let's talk about this position, because I'll be honest, I normally, for all of our candidates, we had some questions pre-typed up, and we asked everybody kind of the same questions. I don't know exactly what you do if you're elected. Can you explain? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, well, community college district board, what do they do? How does this impact my life? So I'm a resident here in Pittsburgh, or since this is a chamber, we're a business organization, I'm a business. How does the board impact my day-to-day life?
You know, that's a good question. I'm sure that's a question that a lot of people ask.
Yeah, I've been asked, like, why are you interviewing him? What does he do? I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay, great. I'm glad you asked that question, and that's one of the things I've been doing since I've been running. First off, Contra Costa has 1.1 million residents and the Community College District is responsible for the education, training, and retraining, of everyone in Contra Costa County. Okay, so that's a lot of people that they serve.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people that they serve, okay, just to understand the kind of courses that they do. They do courses for respiratory therapists. They do courses for firefighting. They do courses for nursing. They do courses for retraining. If you had a job and you need some retraining, you do it at the college. If you want to go ahead and go into the environmental field, you start there. So you get a lot of certifications. A lot of people come back from the military. They need a pathway to get a job, right, in today's economy. You might have a single parent with lots of kids. They want to have a pathway to come out. The community college serves that. It also serves people that are going to be going to a four-year college for a higher education. But they take care of the essential jobs of the community, and they continue to work with businesses. For you, you want to make sure that when somebody graduates and gets a certificate, that they can come in and be a value-added employee day one, that they have the soft skills, the vocational skills to be able to help your business. And the whole thing a lot of people don't understand, the community college, you know, and we have many community college campuses in Contra Costa County. We know in Pittsburgh we have Las Madonnas College, right up on the hill. We have a brand new campus that hasn't opened yet in Brentwood by the Trilogy site. We have Diablo Valley College. You know, they have like 20,000 students, 26,000 students. They have their extension, which is in San Ramon. We also have Contra Costa College. Okay, so we have 5 campuses, and they serve the various demographics. Okay, so, and people need to understand that, you know, even like when I talked about Las Madonnas and college, and it's up on the hill over in Camp Stoneman, really the college is an asset of the community, right? A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just think, well, my son or daughter is going to college, and that's what it is. You can get free tuition and do whatever. I know somebody else that knows that, but they have no idea what else the college does. They have child care. So they have some things they don't do. They work with the police department for training the police department. They're going to be working on doing some technology classes coming up. So for drones, who would think that learning how to fly a drone's important? But if you're on the forest,
it's a big thing right now.
But if you're on the Forest Service or all that, they need experienced people. So the community college kind of provides that pathway. There's things that they don't do, and we'll talk about in a minute, but they provide the core essential training for the citizens of this county. All right, so they do a lot of that, and what they don't do right now, and what they should be doing, is engage more with the community. Because what happens is they're up on the hill, and we're down at the bottom of the hill. You know what? They got this budget of $200 million. What are they doing with the money? You need to know what they're doing with the money. If you have something that you want to do, like for instance, if you want to do a training conference and bring a lot of people in the industry, you can go right to the college and use their facility. You don't know that because they don't tell you that, but you can. They do a lot of experimentation, talk with business people, with literature and all that. They're like the front lines of trying to do something new. As a board member, okay, the way it runs from a political body is they have 5 board members that represent the entire Contra Costa County District. I would be, if I get elected, I would be 1 of 5. My electorate, the people that elect me, however, are from Clyde, Bay Point, Pittsburgh, Antioch, Brentwood, Oakley, Discovery Bay, and Knightson. It's just the way the boundaries got put. However, I'm 1 of 5 to represent the entire Contra Costa College District. So it's just not LMC, it's all of that. And so part of the job is to, number one, there's a set of policies on which the board has to govern. Like for instance, if they come up and there's a new negotiating contract, the board has to approve the contract. If somebody gets hired, the board has to approve the hiring. If somebody gets elevated to a position, the board has to approve it. If there's monies to be spent at the college district, the board goes ahead and maintains oversight against the money. So the number one thing that you need to understand is that the board is responsible for the policies that impact the operation of the college. They also oversee the money that's spent at the college. Right? They have, like I said, $200 million in operating costs, but they have $800 million in bonds.
Right.
That's a lot of money, right, for building new buildings in different campuses, right? The contracts. And so beyond the policies and beyond the oversight of the money, they're also responsible for ensuring the educational quality that gets done at each campus. And that gets reviewed at each campus. Each campus is responsible for its own curriculum, but the board makes sure that the policies that are in place get adhered to by each one of the campuses, right? So that's what's happening. They have one employer. The board has one person that they employ, and that one person is the chancellor. The chancellor is the key. The chancellor is the one that really is the face of the college, the person that will go out and try to get new bonds, the person that will prioritize which policies need to be looked at, okay? And so that chancellor really reports to the board, okay? The board is responsible for helping do the agenda, okay? And any one trustee doesn't have any power. The power comes in 5 together building consensus for different type of things that are going on in order to move forward. So me running as trustee, I would be empowered to work with the other trustees to come up with the right policies, to make sure the money is being spent right. And if there's critical issues, like right now, everybody knows we're at a crossroads. We're being impacted by COVID-19. So those are big issues that are impacting the quality of education. As we know here in Pittsburgh, we know that right away because we talk about the schools and the distance learning. The college is no different. They got the faculty that don't know how to do distance learning. The students have a difficult time doing distance learning. So what does that mean? So that means enrollment is down, but the bigger issue is the fact that they're having a lot of dropouts because it's too hard. And so a lot of people are just going to stay away from college, which will put them 1 or 2 years behind in trying to help our economy as we emerge from COVID-19. And so that's one of the things that need to be addressed.
So, okay, so to kind of summarize it, it's no different than here in Pittsburgh Unified, where you have the school board and they have one employee, and that is the superintendent.
Right.
And so hopeful, if you're elected, you will be setting policy for it's 3 community colleges in the district, correct?
There's 5 centers.
Five centers, but it's
3 main campuses.
3 main campuses, correct. So setting that policy, and right now you mentioned that we're at a crossroads, and so a lot of things have to be looked at, and distance learning I know is one of them because that's obviously impacting everybody, but it's also provides opportunity for community colleges, schools in general, because now they can reach greater audiences, they can spread their impact a much wider net, and also they can do more with less. So the question I have is, since we're here with the chamber today, what policies or what direction would you impact at the college level that are connected to the business community?
Okay, for the business community, is sitting down with the business community and serving the state of education in their community, all right, to K-12. Because those are where some people can get hired right away. They know what the gaps are. They need to understand what the community college can do. And so we need to be better partners with the chambers to talk about what it is they need to be able to successfully emerge from this COVID-19 crisis.
Right.
What is it that they need for retraining of their own employees? What would they like to see? And the kind of training that they want widely available in the community so they can go ahead and pull those resources to help them go forward. That's the big thing. And that's what's been missing for a long time, is that partnership in the community. Even the partnership with the K-12s. There are things that are happening right now. There's like a competition on adult ed.
Okay.
Previously, the high school had it all. But now there's a little bit of competition, with the community colleges because it's a revenue builder. You know what? The K-12s have done a great job. So the colleges need to go back and take a look to see if that's the right approach. And that whole thing about it is that legislation was imposed to them by the governor, saying that they could do that. But that's traditionally the role of the community K-12. We need to get back to that, right? We need to give them that sense of purpose. They're the closest to the people that they're providing the services to. And in some cases, some people don't want to go back to college, right? They need to understand that. But they need to provide the kind of services for all the different people, so when they're ready to go, they can do even free mentoring, right? Making sure that, right now in community college, if you've never been to community college, you can go for free tuition for 2 years. That sounds really great, right? Well, but you know what? It still costs you for books. If you have to drive to the community college, it's going to cost you in gas, right? It's going to cost you in time. And traditionally, You know, you think you want to go ahead and they have this guided pathway, community college, to get you out as fast as possible. And people think, well, when you get out of high school, it'll take you 2 years. But the reality is most students are working. So they may take 5 years, 6 years. That's a long time, which means they can't get to where they need to get to. The community colleges got to do a better job of finding alternative pathways to get them to be educated, you know, more quickly. And that means partnering with the chamber to provide maybe internships to these students so they don't have to drive across the hill, so that we can change when the classes are provided for the students, not when a college gives them out, but when the students are available to take them, so they can clearly graduate sooner.
So do you see that more on-demand classes and less what they used to call sage on the stage, where you have to be present at a set time to listen to the lecture and go from there? That you see more on-demand learning going, more self-paced, or where do you see that? Because that is the reality, that people, they want to progress in their career, but they got to make the investment of their education, and those two needs conflict with each other. I got to make money to pay the bills, but I need to go to school to improve my earning potential. So how do you balance that, and how do you see community colleges addressing that concern?
You know, you use the right word, balance.
Yeah.
That's the right word. There are some type of trainings that you need hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be a nurse, you got to be clinician. You got to be hands-on. If you're going to do some mechanical work, like if you want to go for BART, you need to be hands-on. So there are certain hands-on classes that you have to do. Doesn't mean you got to do them all at the college. They can have different centers for you to be able to do that at different times. The one good thing, okay, that's happening is the colleges are changing all of their curriculum to distance learning. Okay, the professors are being asked to give leeway to the students. So normally, I'll give you an example. Say you're starting to suffer in your class. Why? Well, because you can't manage your time right, because this is all new, or it's a little bit more difficult to learn.
Right.
Well, the professor now, instead of saying, well, you got to get this done at this time, the professor can give you leeway and say, look, I'm going to give you extra credit. I don't want you to drop. I'm going to keep you there and give you more time to finish what you need to finish. That didn't used to happen in the past. That's starting to happen now, because now they understand that it's more important for the student to graduate than for them to get it done within a specific time period. So that's the big thing. So as we go forward, that will teach them that those classes and that kind of stuff, curriculum, can be available. Because now, guess what? They're using video. They're doing the on-demand stuff. They're
Right.
doing some live streaming. So they're using different technologies to go ahead and get to the students. And I think over the long haul, they're going to learn to be more effective that way. And if they're more effective that way, that means when I'm ready to go and take a class, I can take it when I want it for 80% of the time or 90% of the time, because I don't want to fail. I don't want to go ahead and put $1,000 in, out of my pocket that I need to pay the rent with to go to college and fail a class. I'm going to drop because I'm not successful. That's what we
Right.
need. We need more people to keep their esteem up, to know they can be successful. So we have to help them be successful. That's the key.
Okay. Well, with that, you shared with me a video from your campaign that I wanted to go ahead and we'll go ahead and watch that now for those that are watching. We got our viewers.
Fernando Sandoval seeks your vote November 3rd to represent you as trustee for the Contra Costa Community College, District Ward 5. He brings integrity, conviction, and professional qualifications to be a strong voice for all families living in Pittsburgh, Bay Point, Antioch, Discovery Bay, Brentwood, Oakley, and Knightson. Fernando Sandoval respectfully ask for your vote on November 3rd.
All right, so tell us a little bit about that video and why you put it together, and kind of those key elements of it.
Yeah, okay. First off, a lot of people didn't know, if I'm elected trustee, which communities am I going to be directly elected for.
Yeah.
So I talk about all those communities: Pittsburgh, Bay Point, Clyde, Brentwood, Knightson, Antioch, Oakland. I talk about what that is. I talk about the fact that there's things that we need to do going in the future. Okay, I need to let them know that it's about leadership. It's about change. That's what that video is about. That way they can get a little bit more a feel about who I am as a candidate. And I needed to make the message succinct and not too long. People are busy. You can't get their attention. Now they know if they see that video, oh, that's who Fernando is. They get to see who I am. If you look at the video too, you take a look at some of the people in the video. If you replay it, you'll see some students in there, right? You see business people in there, right? You'll see the community in there. We talk about the different campuses, just to give people a feel and a taste for the position. So it was there. It was meant to send my message out of me running for this particular race.
So, okay, so you mentioned the diversity that's in this video, and do you feel that really, so far as we've talked today, it seems like that is one of your priorities, making sure that all these different stakeholders know about the community college and that you will be representing them. So, as far as the business community in that representation, what do you feel is the number one thing that you can bring to the community college board from the business community? Because I know that we've talked before, you've run businesses, you're also an author, you have a book. So what, from the business side of things, what do you feel that you can bring to the community college district board?
Okay, from the business perspective, is I think what I can do is I can sit down and talk to the business about what the community college has for resources for the business, because a lot of times businesses just have no idea of what's available to them, and there are resources they can use that don't cost them any money, because it's the bottom line. It's the bottom line for a business, right? So that's the first thing. The fact that when the business is interested in different aspects of business, when we bring people into the community college to talk about business, not only do we let businesses know, but we want to sit down and talk to businesses and say, hey, I'd like you to be a speaker, talk about your business, how it's being impacted, what you see the future is, so that the students understand what's going on. They need that reality check. And the only way they're going to find out is from people that are running businesses. You know what? Because they don't understand that once they graduate, they're going to be in competition for jobs. So this is what you got to do to prepare yourself. So the sooner students know that, okay, and they get that reality check, then that will allow them to prepare themselves a little bit differently, okay? And then they can start building a relationship with these business owners, okay? And that's the big thing. Building relationships is going to be the key going forward, because once you know people, they can help you get to the next level.
Absolutely. So I know you also have a website for your campaign. Why don't you walk us through your website here and tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, let's go to platform.
Okay.
Because in my platform, okay, I talk about why I'm running. Okay, and there's long, so you're gonna see one is, and we'll go through this again. One is educational excellence and equity. Okay, and what does that mean? Right? What that means?
Great question.
Right? What does that mean?
Can you give it to me in one sentence?
Having the right classes available at the time you need them. Okay, for what the business needs. And equity means making sure that's available to everyone.
Okay. Now I think this one, as far as for the chamber and the business side of things, it's workforce development and then vibrant economy. So give me 2 sentences on this, since this is a focus for us at the chamber. Give us some more on this one.
So the key for that is making sure that the people that go to the college, when they're done, or even going to the training, have the skills that they can immediately use, marketable skills, to help a business right away.
Okay. And then 3, fiscal accountability and transparency. Is there an issue currently in regards to the public perception and transparency? Since you're bringing this up?
Yeah, how many times has anybody told you how much money the college spends?
I don't know. I see it on my property tax bill.
That's what you see.
Yeah.
But the question is, what are they spending it on, right? And the question is, like right now, almost 90% of their operating revenues that they get is used for salaries, okay, pensions, all right, and health plans, which means they only have 10% for programs. That's got to change, because if they don't have room to give the type of courses you need, there you go. They're going to be stuck in the old way, and that's the issue. So we need to make sure we change that.
So you're saying 10% of the operating budget goes to instruction.
Goes to the different programs.
To the programs.
Right.
Only 10%.
Yeah, about 10 to 12% right now, and it's going to get less and less. They're going to have in 2 years The state just changed their funding formula, so they're going to get like a $13 million cut. So $13 million may not seem a lot, but how would you like to get like 8% less in your paycheck? You think that's going to impact you? Well,
Yep.
here we go.
Yeah.
That's the reality. So they got to start figuring out how to lobby to get that number changed. They got to find different ways of revenue,
Mhm.
right? And they need to make sure that they're transparent about what they're doing.
Okay.
That's what that's about.
And what about community outreach and partnership? What's your points there?
The thing is, we need to bring the community college. Right? We need to put community back in the community college, because right now, most people just think it's only for kids that are going to college.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a range of people doing that. There's veterans coming back for retraining. There's people from the community. People just lost their job, and we need a vast amount of retraining. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that the community knows this is what's going on. Let the chamber know, here's this group of classes I think that can help your businesses. Let us know, and let your membership know, and let them go off to the various nonprofits in the community and let them know that those are available. One of the issues that we have right now is I'll give you an example. The people that we serve in the community. Right now, we had just talked before that we were at 10% drop in enrollment, 40% dropout. The reality is, normally what happens is when we have a recession,
Mm-hmm.
man, there's a big bump
Yeah,
in
everybody's
enrollment.
retooling.
Not right now because of COVID-19. So that's really going to impact what they can do for education. So we need to go ahead and partner with the businesses, be honest about it, and together find a pathway to success together. So when we emerge from COVID-19, we emerge together.
Got it. Anything else you want to share from your website for our viewers today?
Go ahead and look at the endorsements. You can see some of the endorsements that I got. I have like over 40 endorsements. Dolores Huerta is an endorser, big international labor leader. Peter Garcia, the past president of Las Medanas College and Diablo Verde College. What's not on there that's going to be shortly on there is I was just endorsed by the United Faculty and the Classified Professionals. So all the people that work on the college, their unions, endorse me. They want change. As
Okay.
you can see, there's leaders and educators from all the different communities in East County.
Mm-hmm.
These educators want their voices heard, and they're comfortable with me because we sit down and we talk all the time, and they want to kind of give that to me, that representation, right? So I can bring that to the board. I'm also starting an East County Education Advisory Committee, which I'm going to be asking you about, because I need some business leaders to be on there to talk about
Yeah.
here's what's going on and here's the important things of education, so you will have a voice to the board, not just have somebody sit in a chair.
Well, and
It's
I
gotta
think
be more
that's,
than that.
yeah, as far as the chamber and the business community, that's sometimes I think the frustration is groups will always, hey, we need you to do internships, we need you to do this, you need to do this. Well, where's the opportunity for the business community to say, well, we need you to do X, Y, and Z, or this is what we need. It's, anytime you have a relationship, if you're going to make deposits, there's withdrawals as well. And, I think a lot of times the business community is always tapped for money and for resources, but we're not always, we're not always giving stuff back, for lack of a better word. So that will be nice to have that.
It's going to be different.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna make it happen with your help, and continuing with the community and build something
Mhm.
that's sustainable, not a one-off.
Yeah.
That's going to be the key. We want it to be a model for everybody else. There's emerging technologies that we haven't even tapped yet. Amazon's going to build their new warehouse center in Oakley. You heard
Right.
about that, right?
Yep.
Or we talked about having a data center in Pittsburgh. Okay, but what about the other partners? What about Google? What about Facebook? What about Salesforce? What about Robert Half? Where are they in this equation? I want to see that Google sign over here in Pittsburgh.
Good question.
At the college.
Yeah.
So my thing is to sit, I know a lot of these people and I know friends in those industries. I'm going to be tapping them to see what kind of partnerships we can bring to the table to help our communities and our young students. We can be the Silicon Valley of East County. We just got to decide to do it and work hard to make it happen.
Okay. And with that, we want to thank everybody who has watched today. You can go to www.pittsburgh.vote to view not only this video, but the videos of all the other candidates. We do have Greg Enholm, who is currently in the spot that you are running for. He's going to be interviewed tomorrow. We also have Las Medanos Community Healthcare District. We are going to be interviewing their candidates as well. So again, that's pittsburgh.vote. and we encourage everybody to go to that website to learn more. And with that, Fernando, leave it to you to close. Why should people vote for you?
We are at a crossroads. All of us have been impacted by COVID-19. If we always did what we always done, we always get what we always got. The board itself has received a vote of no confidence from the faculty. The board is asking for change. Educators are asking for change. They're endorsing me. And with my experience, my qualification, and my commitment to community, I feel I can be a positive force for collaborative change on the board. But remember, it's not about me, it's about you. And so your vote is your voice. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for everybody who's watched. Again, go to www.pittsburgh.vote. And with that, this is Wolfgang Krosky, CEO of the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce, wishing you a great day.